How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over a few trades that I took today. I traded both NQ and ES. Bad losing day for me today. I've been in a bit of a tailspin. I think just getting into bad habits and letting things in my life kind of affect my trading and vice versa. So, not the best day. I did do some things well, most things wrong. So, we'll go over it because there's a little bit to learn. So, starting off the day, we had new all time highs. Mark those from yesterday's session on both ES and NQ. Um, the other zones are pretty they're the same as I've been trading really. This previous all time high zone here, support here. This is NQ. We had the low and the high from yesterday's session, although it was abbreviated. Um, Similar on ES, right? We had that new all-time high, yesterday's low, previous all-time high area, in this support area in here. So let's take a look at it. Coming into the day, we had made this all-time high and we are kind of selling off in the morning. My first trade and one of the things I was watching potentially was for NQ to hold kind of the upper band in here. Hold this for a bounce and maybe some continuation to the upside. So let's look at that. That was my first trade of the day. So we were coming down into this area here. You can see kind of previous all-time high, rejected, rejected, rejected. Had some rejections in here. So I waited, trying to wait patiently. Once we came down and hit this area, we're kind of hanging out right here around market open, and then we formed this. We printed this hammer right as market opened. So we got a couple candles kind of wicking down in here, and then we got this hammer that was kind of right in this general area that I was watching to act as support. So I entered a long position here. Not a bad trade. I don't hate it. I actually, this is a setup that I'd normally take. The issue here was my stop loss. I probably should have put my stop loss around low a day, but I didn't. I didn't even have a stop loss. So we came down and I stopped out somewhere down in here for about a 40-point loss or so. So that was right off the bat. That was in the first 2 minutes of the day, and I had already taken pretty much the max loss that I have set for my account. That was the biggest mistake really that I took today, other than continuing to trade. So we'll take a look at some of the things I did, but not having risk management here really burnt me and set me up for a bad day because I was just trying to play catch up. So that was the first trade that I took this morning. My second trade was a nice trade actually. It was on ES, and it was a winning trade. So ES was holding up a little bit better, right? As NQ was selling off pretty hard, ES was selling off, but it started to bounce. And one of the areas that I was watching on ES was this level in here. If I put a line, you can probably tell, but this area just generally right in there. And you can see that on the hourly. We have a few rejections on the hourly. We also have kind of like a break and retest before that move up to all-time highs. On this lower time frame, we can see that as well. So when we came down and then we had a nice bullish candle here, reclaiming that level, and then we were testing it. So let's take a look. So this is what it looks like on a lower time frame here. Came down, broke it, and then we formed a hammer. And it was after we formed this hammer right here that I entered on the subsequent candle. So I entered somewhere in here, right around that 556 or so level. I took multiple contracts here. I think I took 2 contracts. And the way that I find my take profit levels, or I look at this lower time frame and I look for things like this. I look for areas where we have like some consolidation. So you can see like in there, right? We have some consolidation. We had some wicks on the upside acting as support, or on the downside acting support, upside acting as resistance. So that was actually my final take profit. My first take profit was right here. So same thing, right? We have some consolidation. We have a little bit of sideways action. We see multiple candles kind of wicking in this area. So I put my first take profit here, second take profit here. That was a really nice trade for me. We got it. We got both contracts off. Both contracts were winning. Hit both my targets. Stop loss was below this swing low, so about a 2-point stop loss. And I made back a decent chunk, about half of my initial loss. So I had a big loss to start the day. I made back about half of it off of this trade. At this point, I was debating, do I stop or do I continue to try to make back this initial loss that I took this morning? Since I had this good trade here, and this is something that I typically want, I decided, all right, I can probably make 1 or 2 more good trades and reel this thing back in, and that was kind of my mistake. So that was that. At the time being for ES, I want to say that this trade here, this long off a bounce here, was beautiful. You can see that we, get like a triple bottom down here. Same here. We got these long wicks. We're forming hammers at an area that was previously a big resistance, right? Resistance, 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 resistance. So the long here, targeting some smaller levels. Again, you could probably target, somewhere up in here. I guess we didn't quite hit that, but nevertheless, if you're getting in somewhere around here, you're almost making 7-8 points. Not bad. So that is one trade that I kind of saw that happen after the fact, and I didn't take it because I was in a trade on NQ, but that was a nice one. But let's hop over to NQ for some other trades that I took. So, oh man, I'm not even going to be able to remember. The biggest issue that I had today was over trading. I kept trying to catch bounces on NQ and kept getting burnt. So I don't even remember. I really don't. But I took some long positions, at points where I thought it would bounce. Or I think around like yesterday's low, I tried and got stopped out. I think I tried around the low a day and got stopped out. And what's wrong with these is I didn't have great confirmation. If I got a hammer right here, that would have been different. If I got like this candle right here, that would have been different. But even those can be deceiving, right? You get that nice hammer at yesterday's low a day. That would be a sign for me to enter generally. But you see, we just kind of sold right through that. So, depending on where your stop loss is, that might have stopped. It might have been a stop out and then immediate move to the upside. So it can be tricky. Trading's not easy. I did try to. I did have a winning trade on NQ. So I had some losses in here. I think I tried to take a bounce here, and that was a loss. And I might have tried a bounce somewhere in here, which was a loss. I really don't remember. That's the problem. I overtraded. But I did have a winning trade here, so we reclaimed this level, big area on the hourly. So let's take a look at it. You can see kind of where we're at. I had a lot of bounces the previous week. So once we reclaimed that and formed the hammer here, I entered 2 contracts. I had one at the top of this little swing high, and I had another take profit up here at this swing low. I got one contract filled for profit, and then my runner got stopped out by this pullback here. So I got stopped out, and then it kind of went up and hit that target. So that was a decent trade. That trade I had previous on ES was pretty good. This was a decent trade. And I'm not even mad that I took that initial trade. I probably should have waited a few minutes and let the market kind of show me what was going on, because I was right at the market open. But nonetheless, the real problem with that was risk management, not necessarily the trade itself. But I went on tilt from there, and I was just taking a lot of paper cuts that added up, just trying to look for bounces and just getting stopped out for 10, 15 points consecutively. I did try to short somewhere on NQ, and it got me. I think it might have been in here. I think after we came up and tested and rejected, I got stopped out, and then I flipped long and actually got some of that back. So that was kind of like a net zero, those 2 trades, because I had a loss into a win. And then my final trade that I took on ES was I took 2 on ES. Oh, it looks like it might have deleted my. That's a bummer. But let's take a look. I can redraw. I had a trend line that we were rejecting off of all morning. We had some resistance. We were in a downtrend. So I'll draw that. There we go. So we had this downtrend, right? And we were holding this yesterday's low pretty well. You can see here that pretty evident. When we broke out, I took 3 contracts. So I did size up on this because I was thinking that with the relative strength that we had on ES as opposed to NQ, you can see where ES is at this time of day, 8:30. We're still holding above yesterday's low. If you look at NQ at that same time, right, 8:30, we're all the way down here. So I thought relative to NQ, ES was holding up a little bit better. It was showing more strength. When it broke out of this downtrend, to me, I like that for a long position. I was targeting kind of this swing high here as my final target. I had another profit somewhere a little in between. So I think my first take profit was somewhere in here. And my final take profit was up here for about 9 points. So I think I had like a 6 or 5 point take profit and then about a 9 point take profit. I had 3 contracts. I entered on the breakout. As we pulled back, I entered a couple more. My average price was somewhere right in here, around like 68 area. We kind of got like a little push, and then all that momentum just died out, and we sold right back down. So my stop loss was below the swing low. We came down, and that stopped me out. So that was a 3 point, a little less, like 2.5 point loss on 3 contracts. So, that's what, a little over $30 loss right there. That was a bummer. I like that setup. I had a stop loss. I had targets. I felt like that was a trade that I don't regret taking. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. And then my final trade of the day was in here. I took I think I took 3 or 4 contracts. Like I said, I was on tilt. I was taking too many trades, taking too many contracts. Yeah, just not in a great headspace, and when you're not in a great headspace, it's not a good time to be trading. You really should be pretty level-headed and pretty calm when you're trading, or you'll make the emotional mistakes that I made today. So I took another 4 contracts in here, kind of when we were holding around the day's low. My target was this swing high, and you can see we pushed up a little bit and then came down and stopped me out. My stop loss was once again below this swing low. So entered 4 contracts as we held and started to push up. I think my entry was around like 63.5, somewhere in here. After we held, I entered somewhere in here. Or perhaps, 9:30, yeah, that's about it. And got stopped out again. So we were weak on the day. I was playing a lot of longs. Funny enough, my only 2 wins were longs. I only took 1 short, I believe, and it was a loser. So I was just on the wrong side of things. Really, there was some nice trades to be taken. I was just kind of blinded by my own, just making bad decisions and not being patient, and then not having proper risk management as well. So I exceeded my loss limit. I found out that you can turn off your loss prevention, and that's not great. I shouldn't be doing that, but nonetheless, I found out that I could do it and bypass that. So I had a bigger loss than expected today. I'm kind of just bleeding out my account. It's not great. I'm going to keep trying. I think maybe I'll take a break tomorrow. Maybe I'll be here tomorrow. Like I said, I got other things I'm dealing with, and that's definitely affecting my trading, unfortunately. But that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. Made some mistakes. I had a few good trades. There's some, like this trade right here. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Probably ideal entry would have been on this pullback. I don't know, maybe a 4-point move. Maybe I would have taken some profit here. But sometimes they just don't work out, and like that opening trade I took off NQ, hammer at support, I like that. I just didn't have good risk management. So it wasn't all bad, but it was mostly bad. Yep, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. I trade live Monday through Friday, so might take it easy tomorrow as we're trying to just get our head back in things, but we'll see. All right, hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.